baby. Oh yeah, yeah. It's Big Moochie, baby. Big Moments MC. Oh man. Hey, check this out. I got this new line dance hustle, you dig? This going out to all my MCs all across the world. We gon' call this one here the biker shuffle. Walk it to your right. Now move it on up. Hey, move it on up. Hey, walk it to your left. Now bring it on back. Hey, bring it on back. Now kick with it, kick with it. Hop out in, now kick with it. Step to your right, now slide with it. Turn to your left with it. Walk it to your right. Now move it on up. Hey, move it on up. Hey, walk it to your left. Come on, bring it on back. Hey, bring it on back. Now kick with it, kick with it. Hop out in, now kick with it. Step to your right, now slide with it. Turn to your left with it. Do the biker shuffle. It's the biker shuffle. Let's do that biker shuffle. Come on, do the biker shuffle. Let's get it with the biker shuffle. MCs do the biker shuffle. Follow me with the biker shuffle. Let's go with the biker shuffle. Okay, y'all, here we go again. Big Mooch had to do it one again. Everybody love my swagger, how I do it. Made up a hustle, watch the world do it. Come on with a beat, move my feet to it. Put it on tag, my space, YouTube it. Since I'm an omen, you best believe that I gotta give it up to all my MCs. Don't walk it to your right. Come on, move it on up. Hey, move it on up. Hey, walk it to your left. Come on, bring it on back. Hey, bring it on back. Now kick with it, kick with it. Hop out in, now kick with it. Step to your right, now slide with it. Turn to your left with it. All right, y'all. What I'm about to do right now, I'm about to call out all my MC clubs, all the ones I know, all my face buddies, all the ones that hold it down when I come to their city. Hey, and don't get mad at me now if I ain't say your name. Don't get mad. Catch y'all up on the next one. Let's go. We got them old men, them Zulus, Rolls Royce Street Hustlers too. Come on, them Deacons and them Afro-Dogs, that Mystic Knights to get out them homes. That Hellraisers, Outcasts, Heavy Metals and Jokers. We got Stateside Kicks, Mighty Romans, some Gentlemen, and them Trojans, Renegades, Redliners, Hellhounds, and them Ghost Riders, Street Pirates, them bad boys. Keep it going. The Pack 69 boys. Got Riders Block, Rough Riders, CTP and Naptown Riders, Lord of Armageddon, Urban Knights, Dragon Masters and Lady Knights. We got them good fellas, new brotherhood, Lady Trendsetter, new sisterhood. Disconnected them road runners, Toros and them front runners. Got street soldiers, cafe racers, old timers and Ohio players, Wildcats and them block burners, Falcons and them #1 stunners, Top Gun, them godsons, All Stars, mysterious ones, bad girls and them hot girls, Diamond Clubs and them cover girls. I like riding pretty, ladies in motion, bad chicks and them dirty dozen, Simple Pleasure, UTR, CBR and DTR. Got Sun Zodiac, Pink Panthers, Brothers of the Hammer, Flying Panthers, Thunderwoods and that rare blood, no haters, them young bloods, QTs, them black beauties, they black good girls and eye candy, Gym City Hustlers, Louisville Legends, Lady Street Soldiers, Street Legends, Credibles, Archangels, let's go ride with me, them Black Angels. We got Aftermath, Urban Angels, Flaming Knights, Glass City Angels, Soul Devils, Immortal Souls, Thunder of Wheels and Brothers of Soul, Kentucky Alley Gunslingers, Made Men, Sin City Titans, 4 Horsemen, I see y'all, 1 Man, East Bay Dragons, Cannon Too Deep, them Black Dragons, Lady Diamonds, Precious Gems, who you with? Lady Jim, we got Boogie Down, them Lost Boys, Steel Horses, Bass Country Boys, Black Yankees, Outsiders, Drifters and them Black Tigers, Juggernauts and Phantom MC, Just Us and Pro Shell Posse, Underworld, No Love Crew, Cafe Royale and Reggae Crew. We got Midnight Star, See Your Destiny, Asphalt Assassins, 0 to 60, Bad to the Bone, Street Runners, Not on One Extreme, them Hair Hunters, Mission Impossible, Road Kings, Solid Rock with them Road Queens, Wolfpack, Cruise Road Dogs, Heavy Hitters, Dodge City Road Dogs, them damn girls, Speed Divas, Hard to Please and them Steel Divas, Lady Best Friend, Lady Riders, Down to Ride, Buck Out Riders, Deuces and them Throttle Queens, High Rollers, Notorious Kings, Urban Elements, Boston Divas, Serpentine Fire, Make Way Divas, Detroit Lynx, Shadow Riders, Wild Bunch and them Dog Pound Riders, Courageous Women, Ebony Queens, Sugar and Spice, Fantasy Queens, Chocolate Roses, NC Divas, Sisters of Choice, Queens and Divas, Thunderbirds and 29 Riders, Bad Company, 502 Riders, Columbus Flames, Dirty Riders, Diversified, them Top End Riders, Sisters United, Thug Riders, Sisters of Choice, Fame Riders, Precious Jewels, Dangerous Curves, Expensive Curves, and them Endless Curves, Motor City Cruisers, Woman of Excellence, Ronnie MC, Lady Elegance, Showstoppers, them Diamond Divas, them Players and them Original Divas, State Burners, Independent Divas, Louisville Lunatic, Street Divas, Royal Breed, Infamous 36, LA
All right, right. Yeah. We had to start that off with a little line dance. That was the biker shuffle. And you know I was not going to turn that off until I heard my dangerous curves.
The biker shuffle.
The biker shuffle.
Is that done on the motorcycle? Or off the motorcycle?
It's off the motorcycle. That's what you get for coming in late. I could have showed you real quick.
I want to see it on the motorcycle.
You want to see a burnout on the motorcycle. That's what you want to see on the
line dance on the motorcycle.
On the motorcycle. You heard it. Hey, listen, we got some hot topics for you. We got to let you know about the nominees that's coming out. We got a great show. This show is about to be off the chain. Now, I did have a guest, and y'all know I'm going to keep it real. I did have a guest, and she was high on her soapbox, and said she was high. Soapbox was stacked up with like old milk crates, okay? I said, well, listen, auntie, I'm going to get you on a different show, because she was way radical, and I already know I would not have been able to control the show. I would have had to stop it like before, okay? So I'm going to invite her on another show because she was going in, all the way in. And because of today's topic. So today's topic is support your own when your own don't support you. ... Own has air quotes. ... Air quotes. ... Air quotes. And I had to bring this up because this happens so often, where you'll have people that's constantly saying, oh, you know what? Let me give it. Rugo in the building. Kim, the go-to girls in the building. I love y'all for coming on and being my guest. So, yeah. I need to be doing a round of applause for that right now. Totally appreciate that. And it's like almost where people will have the, I'm going to say audacity to say, let's get this bell ready because we know I'm about to go and jack some stuff up. Where people will say, our people will say, well, you need to support your own pro-black. And yeah, I'm pro-black because I am black, okay? However, I go after the product. Now, yes, I'll support my own, and you want me to support my own. Why don't you stop saying support your own and just say, just support me and I'm not going to support you? That's it. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, we need to support our own, we need to do this, we need to do that. We need to get out. Yes, you, point back at you. And get out and support other people. And it's like, give me a break. Even the same thing with the different fundraisers. It's the same scenario that I see. Somebody will do a fundraiser and they're begging you for money and can you donate? And you might have a whole board of people and they don't get out and support other businesses or fundraisers or events. They're just stuck with their own. So if you're asking, you need to be out there making yourself seen and noticed. And the only way that I'm going to do, because I call me Petty Betty all day long. I have gotten to that place where if I see you supporting somebody else, then I'll support you. Mm-hmm. And it's sad because usually I'll try to support, but guess what? You'll deplete the person. If everybody's asking one person for support, they're going to deplete that person. And it's like, but you're not pouring into anybody else. Come on. I mean, for real, it's like a bank. You want to withdraw, but you ain't deposited nothing. Work with me, people. How you feel about that?
I have so many things going through my mind as you say this. So many questions. One of the questions that I have is, what are people supporting and what stops them from contributing? First of all, when we say our own, we don't have the status of some of the higher level messengers that make us feel that we are somebody. So if I say I'm going to support this cause, if that cause is going to not make you look better than or as important than, then you're not likely to, rush to that. You don't always want to be attached to something. So if we're having an hour event, depending what the hour event is, like there's an event that we have in our area every year, the day after Christmas. That's a status event. I'm sorry, the day after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. That's a status event. So people are going to support that because being a part of that makes them a part of something. It helps to uplift them to say that they are either participating in it or going to it. It's a big social event. They're going to contribute to that. When it comes to business... AKA the Cinderella ball. I'll just put it out there. But when it comes to like businesses, if you don't have the right storefront, if you don't have what people think you need to have for them to be associated with supporting it, sometimes they're not. Mm-hmm. we have,
Because it's a status.
I think a lot of times it is status. It's status on the side of the consumer as well as the business owner. Support your own. That statement in and of itself, what exactly does that mean?
I need my sound effects. I'm about to get it going. Look, I'm about to get it.
I said all of that to say that. What exactly does that mean? Good business is good business.
Right.
Or it's not. Let's talk about that. Why aren't people supporting? Or why do people feel that they can't? Why do you feel that just because you are our own that we should support you? I mean, where does that come from?
Exactly. Where does that come from? And it's like,
Supporting your own?
no.
Oh,
you
I
missing it
missed
because you on that.
Well,
but you missing the whole point behind it.
I gotta look up. I'll be on the hot seat in a minute.
Yeah, you right. You got 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
I
you
got 40 minutes.
You got 40 minutes.
Oh,
You know, you straight 11 o'clock.
When I had my storefront businesses,
Uh-huh.
I didn't say come to us because we are black
Black.
business. I didn't say that. I was a business that offered quality services.
Okay.
Wait.
I want to challenge that.
Oh, okay, wait. Okay.
Well, I
I'll
want
talk.
them to let me
I want
say
to challenge that.
Go there.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, what business are you talking about?
I had my home care business
Okay.
and I had a hair salon.
The hair salon. Let's dig in deep because that's the most segregated business in Ohio, in not Ohio,
In the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
So what did you do to bridge that gap? Not to just service all people.
We invited stylists of all nationalities, and we had stylists who did hair of other cultures. We were next door to a salon that is a white majority salon, and we would send people back and forth to each salon for nail services. We asked each other questions about how to do hair. Now, they didn't get black people coming in there to do their hair, but we did get white people coming to our salon. We had our barber service white clientele, so we did a mixture. We were not just a black business. We were minority owned, but we served whoever came in there, and we were qualified to serve them.
Yeah, because I remember there's a barber I would take my son to, and I went to high school with him. With actually two of them, and they were not black. And I remember having a conversation with him, and a black client, woman came in with her son, and she said, "Do you cut black people's hair?" He was like, "I cut all people's hair." You know what I mean? So, like the reason I wanted to bring that up is because like there's a huge, outside the beauty salon, the church is probably the most segregated place, and then,
Right.
and then the beauty salon, but it was just like, he wanted to show her that, he told her that, hey, I don't have a problem with cutting anybody's hair, and he's a good barber, and I had two barbers like that were people I went to school with that I supported because I knew them, you know what I mean? I knew them, they were in the community. It wasn't like, and then it was another barber on the south side that I would go to too. But I'll be honest with you, the wait time was too long for me. I didn't have that much time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That's customer service.
I was like, hey, I can't be in here like 6 hours for a 25-minute service. You know what I mean? I just didn't have the time. And with my son's age, I didn't feel necessarily comfortable just leaving him.
Good.
Anywhere. You know what I mean?
Good. And that's what this show was about. You have people that will say support your own, but here again, I'll say it again, but they won't support their own.
Well, what's the definition of your own? Because
that's why we talked about it. You missed all that.
That's what I said. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I would say, like, for me, it was like I had a connection with these two guys.
Uh-huh.
So I supported them because they were my own. I grew up playing sports with them and stuff like that. They were in a business that I could, I needed to access. So I did it, Then there were people, same thing, actually at both shops. I went to school with them, all that kind of stuff. It was 3 barbers, and, one was black and the other were not black. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, we would kind of do a round robin depending on what was going on or whatever, to be able to get the haircut quickest.
Right. I get you. And that's it. Just like Kim said, she was like, what does that really mean? And that it isn't. What is it? That's why I say our own, air quotes. What does it really mean? You go for the service.
All right.
But I will say, just like you use the example of the wait time. If I got an appointment at 9 o'clock, this is what's so interesting to me. You could go to, let's do hair salon, like you were saying, or a barber, that's why I like In and Out Beauty. That's what it's called. Listen, you in and you out. Ain't nobody got all day, okay? Unless I'm clocking in. Clock me in, pay me for my time, okay? But when you go somewhere and you have a 9 o'clock appointment and you sitting there to 10 or 11, to me, you're disrespecting my time. And no, I'm not trying to be there. So just like you said, you found some place you just don't have the wait time. Just like when you can go certain places, and this is not a black or white thing, just like what is our own, air quotes, if you open up at 10 o'clock and it says 10 o'clock, I think that's a reasonable time that you should be there. You pull up at 10 o'clock. And then you got an attitude with me because I'm there at 10 o'clock. Listen, you chose these hours. You said these hours were good for your store and your company. So you said they're not 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Or if there's a line outside, you should be happy that there's a line outside because guess what? That means your business is profitable. Mm-hmm. And you have people that's rolling their eyes, having an attitude. We open at 10. Look at these people out here at 9:55. Isn't that what you want as a business owner?
You would think. We don't want to go into bashing the hair salons, but I had one, so I can talk all of this. First of all, I think that I never told people to come to my salon because it was a minority-owned salon. However, and I can't really speak to just the salon because I didn't frequent white salons. But I know that in my salon, one of the issues that I did not have my people operate as employees. They worked on commission. So basically, I had very little say-so into what they did as long as they paid the booth rent and complied. Mm-hmm. But what used to drive me nuts, because my hairdresser also worked in the salon, God rest her soul, hey Sonny, we would be sitting there, she'd be doing my hair, and people would come in for the barber, and none of the barbers would be there.
Not cool.
That would drive me nuts. But what could I say?
Oh, okay. So that's bad because your name is on the top of the salon. My name,
right. So people and I told my brother when we opened it, I didn't even want my name on it. He wanted our name on it, and then he didn't want to do it either. But anyway, when we'd be sitting there, I went to Hams and there were no barbers there, and they opened at 8 o'clock. That drove me nuts. Not because I was a minority-owned business, but because I was a minority-owned business falling into a stereotype of what minority-owned businesses are. And that was starting to get to me because was that really the true perception, or is it just my perception that minority-owned businesses aren't as serious about what they do as some of the other businesses? Some cases I could say yes, other cases I could say no, but I also know non-Black businesses that did the same thing. But I'm in the culture of Black America, so I'm going to see it more in Black America. So are we the only ones who have certain people who don't take their businesses seriously, or are we just seeing more of it because this is the culture that we're in?
Well, I can share my experience. Me being a licensed cosmetologist, which you guys probably didn't know because I didn't tell you, since 1991. Okay, I used to work at rest in peace, Gloria Smith. I used to work at BJ's. Mm-hmm. BJ's South on Laclede. Black business. Everybody know Mr. BJ. Boom. He had the North and he had the South, and Gloria ran the South. Okay. And I was coming out, and this was probably like 90. I started as a shampoo girl, then, till I got my license and all that stuff. Gloria, when she said they opened, and all those girls were in the booth, and it was booth rents, the same thing. Mm-hmm. So that salon, I could say, and even working under her, was amazing. Dorothy Irvin, mm-hmm. She was over there. So I had thebomb.com mentors, you know what I mean, when I was coming out. And then I worked at I went to do my own, and I worked at a Black salon, same thing. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to keep it real. We ain't about to be politically correct. It's shop talk, okay?
Right.
And I saw something that was really interesting. Now, over at BJ's, you, if it was lunch and you would order out, you took your lunch and you took your book. I had a book. Listen, my mentors was thebomb.com. You had a book, you took your lunch and you left the floor and you ate your lunch, and then you came back. This other salon, I won't say no names because I'm just going to leave that out there. This other salon on the east side, on Hemrod, let me tell you, this is what I witnessed. So I'm sitting there, boom, doing it up, boom, all was well. And I saw one hairdresser. I can't say all of them. I saw one there. And they ordered their food, and she had some barbecue chicken. Yes, it's still in my head. She had some barbecue chicken, and she was sitting on a stool behind the person doing finger waves. Now, I'm taking y'all back.
Mm-hmm.
So finger waves, I didn't never like my hand, but I'm a bomb.com. I would use the 2 rat tail combs, so y'all already know I'm skilled, okay? Knock them finger waves out. Well, she would do it too, but she was cold with the finger waves. She was so cold with finger waves, she could do it with one hand, which she had her comb, and she was eating chicken in the other hand. Now, I'm at the booth next to her, and as I'm at the booth next to her, I saw a chicken crumb, barbecue chicken crumb, drop in the girl's hair. Now, now I'm looking at it, I'm like, that crumb. I mean, it's a big one. Dropped in her hair and her finger waves. Now she putting the girl under the dryer. Now, if she got pets at the house, they crawl.
Barbecue waves in her hair.
Right. It was really interesting. I don't know why, but she had these crumbs. And I'm like, if she got little pets that crawl and real small at the house, they gonna have a good time in her hair, because that hair is gonna dry and that gel gonna dry, and they gonna be like, I smell barbecue chicken. But at that point, that's when I said, oh my gosh. So I whispered to her to tell her. Because guess what? You got to shampoo her hair and do it over. I said, your chicken crumb fell in her. She said, what? She's like, well, I'm going to try to get it out after she dries. So that was cool. But she didn't. She didn't, because I didn't see her. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought that was different. So then at that point, that was time for me to move on. So I went to a white salon. I was the only black face in the place. However, when she said the time to be there, because those issues were there. They would come in, you had your walk-ins that were there, or you had people who had scheduled appointments, just like Rugal was saying. You got scheduled appointments that come in, and the person isn't there. And just as you were saying, like the barbers, okay, if my appointment's at 9 o'clock and my barber comes strolling in there at 10, talking about what? That's not okay. That's disrespectful to the customer. So I went to a white salon, and working in a white salon, I learned so much. I learned so much so fast. And it was the booth rent, as you were saying, and then you had those that were on hourly wages, so they came in, and then the commission. So once you made the amount that you would make as a booth rent, then that was yours.
Right.
So that was neither here nor there, but I will say this. She had the products there, because even like when you do booth rent, you use your own products, versus if you're in a salon and you're hourly, they may have like the type, we were Paul Mitchell. And it was like all of the products were there. And if somebody liked the product, guess what? They could purchase it right there. So that's where I learned like business part of it with her. And even the products that I use, she wanted to purchase what I use so that it would be available. And like I said, I was the only black beautician there. So when they would come in, these were the products that they used. So I helped her in turn. But I did see things when it was closed, it was closed. When is your last? How long does this take? Boom, boom. We're out of here. We're not here till 9 o'clock at night. We're closed at 7. The end. So I did learn some different things there. And not to say that, like I said, Gloria, black salon, manager ran it smooth. White Sandy ran it smooth. So I saw both sides of it. Now the one, they ain't running smooth. They over there eating and everything else in folks' hair. And that was just a turn off for me. So that's my experience, I had to say.
So was that minority business or just poor business on the part of that one minority person?
I would say poor.
To be a minority?
I would say poor business, but not even on the owner of the salon, because she was only in there probably like once or twice. She did all booth rent, but it reflected on the name of her salon, and she was the owner, so it kind of gave bad business. Kind of like what you were saying, your name was on there and you weren't even in there. And it's like, come on, people.
I don't even do hair.
I don't do hair. Like, I'm just trying to do something here. And when you have people that are working for you, and you hate to say working for you because they're working for themselves, subleasing, that makes, if that makes sense. Subleasing, it's not a reflection of them. It's a reflection of the umbrella. Who is it under? Like you said, you didn't want your name on it. And it's like, okay, this is it. And it's you might have a great beautician And you'd be like, oh yeah, she's over here. But then you have 3 or 4, like you said, one side was beauticians, the other side were barbers. Mm-hmm. And then people want their hair cut and then they're not there. They'd be like, oh, I'm not going there. So they're not looking at Joe, the barber. They're looking at the actual title of the salon. And it's just bad business. I just think people need to handle their business. And then you want to say, well, y'all need to support. We need to support our own. We need to do this. Y'all need to step up. I got these air quotes.
Be supportable.
Yeah, there you go. Be supportable. Yes.
I gotta leave to go do some research.
He got yeah, be supportable. I'm like, give me a break. Now, what would be some advice that you would give to the people who are, let's go with the business owners? Go ahead.
Be honest with your customers and be just as loyal to them as you want them to be to you. Understand that you're not going into business because you want people to do you favors. You're going into business because you want to create a lifestyle. But I will say this, if things get funky at home, that's going to trickle over into business. I tell all business owners when they are getting started, make sure home is in order first, because believe it or not, the way you run your house will become the way you run your business. So if you're sitting there trying to figure out how to pay the bills at home and you figuring out how to organize home and you got people going all over the house cutting up, as your business grows, you do what you knows. So what you're going to do is you're going to start doing the same thing in your business. Don't expect people to support you because you are a minority business. Expect people to support you because you are good at what you do. You have quality service. You have quality customer service. There are businesses where their products may not be all that great, but the customer service is so good, you'll go ahead and put up with them. Some people do that with their physicians. Anyway, there are other times where the customer service may not be so great and the product is awesome, but you'll sacrifice that product if you're not being treated with respect and dignity. So if you want people to support your business, it's not because your business is owned by a minority. It's because your business is run with excellence. When I had my home care business, if my home health aides were not available, I went out and did the work. I never asked my employees to do something that I would not do. You are a team. You are a team with the person paying for your service. You are a team with the person supplying the service. And you are a person with the team who is getting the service. So remember your 3 customers. I can't remember what I just said. But the person paying for it, the person delivering it, and the person receiving it. Those are your 3 customers. So make sure that you are serving all 3 of them. If you're loyal to those 3 people, then you're going to have a good business.
I like that sweater.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let's talk about the crab syndrome that happens so often in air quotes, our own, in supporting our own.
I don't even know which way to go with that. Okay, I had the home care business. My home care business was extremely successful. And when I sold it, I was able to chill out at home for 2-3 years. A couple years I didn't go back to work. And so I'm saying that to say this. People would call me all the time asking how to start a home care business. I still get calls for it. This is what I don't understand. It cost me thousands of dollars to not only get my business going, but to learn what to do in the business, to learn how to make it profitable and successful. Yet when people call and ask me how I got started, for everything that I can tell them, they don't even want to pay me for it. But then they'll go to a non-minority person and pay the same plus more money to learn the same stuff. Why? I don't understand that. You called me, but you want me to give you all of it for free. I'll give you all of it, but respect the fact that I'm giving you something of value. Information is valuable. Information is a commodity. Information is an investment.
It is.
But if you don't want to pay me a fraction of what I had to pay to learn it, then don't ask me, because you're going to pay me. Now, the flip side to that is, of course, I'm a service-oriented person. And if you want to learn from me, I will teach you whatever I know. Because once I know it, and once I do it, and once I share it, it's still mine. I can still do what I want to do with it, just like you can do what you want to do with it. We're not here to compete. We are here to grow. We are here to support one another. What happens is, though, because our standards are set outside of our own culture, our standards are set outside of our own race, instead of focusing on what we can do with each other, we focus on what we can do to impress others. And then we come up with this crabs in a barrel syndrome, because I want to be at the top by myself. I want to be envied and validated. So I don't want to give you too much because I don't want you to be like me. That's the syndrome you're talking about.
And it's sad.
It's ridiculous.
And we're going to talk about what happened for those of you who don't know, I had an event, which was a academic scholarship thingy. I'm on here. Where it was Mingle with Medicine Wine Sip. And I had a young entrepreneur, and she did, and she does, candles. Now, her product is a product with a purpose. It's a product with a purpose. And I'm going to give you her name. I didn't give this information to you. It's called Naturally Nikayla's. Now, she does the candles, with stress relief candles, immune booster candles, migraine beneficial, all these great healing scents. I'll put that. Healing scents, healing oils in there. So that's why I said her product is with a purpose. And she's selling these candles, and then there was a lady there that talked about her candles were better. Share what you heard.
This is what I heard. Okay, Nikayla is, like Melanie said, starting this candle line for the purposes of helping people get and take care of emotional support animals if they're living with anxiety or depression, PTSD, something like that. So she's new at it. She's been making candles less than 1 month, but her purpose is what she's pushing. And the candle is a part of that purpose. Anyway, there was someone there who went to one of the customers and told the customer...
Hear me! Customer. So they purchased the candle. Go ahead.
Went to another customer and told them not to get her candles because the candles that they make are better candles. And the person said, well, these candles are with a purpose. But the other person said, well, my candles, I can make them creamy. I can make them however you want. I can color them up for you. I can put them in different types of jars. And basically just dogged Nikayla's candles. Nikayla said when she was selling the candle to all of her customers, she said, look, I'm new at this. I want positive feedback if things can be different. But please thank you for supporting my cause. Cause went out the window for this other person.
And that's where I have an issue at. Even if it's like a clothing line, like Demron.
Mm-hmm.
Demron.
Working on the name.
Awesome clothes, though.
Listen,
Yeah.
outstanding.
Awesome.
And listen, you guys got to check that out. Demron is African attire, and it's authentic. Not like I said, not your Gordon Gartrells. If y'all used to watch your Cosby shows, you know, the knockoff, like, and I'm gonna say like the internet, what they got on here, like the Wish and all those, and you sit there and you're like, oh, it look good on them, and then when you get it, the size, the extra small is like or the extra large is like an extra small in the U.S. Listen, these items are
beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. And you are individualized when you wear them. It looks
Yes.
like it was made for you.
Yes, because I saw that one gown, which was amazing. But you don't go and say, oh, okay, well, this person, even if you are doing, this world is big enough, even if you are doing the same thing, just like the candle situation, everybody, she is not the only one that's making candles, but why would you try to steal a customer? And even though, and there's no such thing as stealing a customer, because your product and your personality speaks for itself. However, why would you even attempt to do so?
Or discourage the young lady
Right.
who's trying to do something for
I was really disappointed in that, and especially when it was an adult. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is really interesting. Like we all could sell now laters. You know what I mean?
But it was funny because everybody at the event who sold candles made it a point to say they sold candles. And God bless Nikayla, who said, well, Mel asked me to be here.
Okay, and that's it. I was just shocked, because this is what's here. This is what's before you. And you should not discourage any young person or anyone for that matter. If I sold, both of us speak. Kim, the go-to girl, and myself, and even Rugal. We all speak 1, 2, 3. We all speak publicly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, hey, guess what, Rugal? You know what? Book me next time because I know I could have did this better, or I could say, oh, you know what? You got Kim, the go-to girl. I could have told you a little bit better. No, everybody has their own niche. Everybody knows who they are. You got me, Shop Talk. You have Rugal, who knows what he's doing. And you know what?
No one knows what he's doing.
Listen.
Not even Jesus Christ himself.
No, that graduation with the Batman. Oh, that was phenomenal when you spoke at the commencement service.
That was a chance.
You got, hey, but it was a great one.
I took a chance there. That could have went bad.
But it didn't because
Because
you.
it was you.
Yeah.
It was authentically you.
And then you got Kim, the go-to girl, who's going to tell you about business. This is what we do. We talk.
Yeah.
We talk, and we all could be on the same platform.
No risk.
No risk.
Like no risk.
We all taking risks. Let's be honest.
I mean, we taking risks, but it's like I should say we don't calculate what we do based off of risk.
Absolutely.
Like we know,
well
like,
said.
we know this. We know if we don't do it to the fullest, like it's like when you at a commencement and you come up with a Batman mask and you open up your shirt. You know, it's like it could go really good or it go really bad, but there's no in between. You know.
And guess what? We could get the attention.
Yeah, I was going to say I wasn't even there, but you held their attention from that point because when you walked out like that, people want to hear what comes with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you got to bring it because at a commencement service, you see suit and tie. Suit tie. What they gonna say?
Yeah. What I ended up doing to set that up, just to give the people an idea, was I dropped my cue cards. Some cue cards on purpose. So I dropped them and I went down. Just like, oh, I need, oh man, I gotta get these cards. I'm saying this up. I'm saying, I'm so sorry, y'all. I gotta get these cards, trying to pick them up. And I was like, can somebody give me a hand? Of course, what the audience started doing. I was like, y'all ain't right. And then the lady who was the principal came, and when she came over, we just stood up, and then I had on this, so nobody knew this was happening. It was kind of just happened. Well, that's a risk.
And there you go.
But it was good, though.
And you broke the ice.
Mm-hmm. The ice was broken.
Yes, it definitely was.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you dropped this. Guess what? I'm a regular person just like you, and let's do this. And then he stood up and he was
That
Batman.
graduation is so hyped, though. That one. Because somebody said I should have did that at the performing arts school, but that audience was like dead.
You have to know your audience.
Yeah, I didn't do that there. But with that one, it was like, you can't go wrong. These kids are getting associate degrees and all that kind of stuff. So it was like really great. It's just a huge
awesome
party.
Awesome. And that's it. And nobody's saying, oh, you don't need to get that person and you need to get... And you made a valid point. Validity. Mm-hmm. People need to feel validated. Why? Not on the... Let me see. You should not make yourself feel better by stepping on somebody else.
Absolutely.
That's an issue that I have. It's like, okay, and you've heard the saying, standing on the shoulders of great people constantly. But here's the problem. You have people that are, when those great people do great things, they'll lift you up to stand on their shoulders. I'm going to need for you not to be trying to pull me down to get on my shoulders. Okay?
Right.
And I have said before, I will reach back and say, hey, come on up. I'll give you the ladder. Boom. Now, if you choose not to take my hand, I'm not going to allow you to pull me down, though. That's not going to happen. Here's a ladder. Here's how I got here. Just like you said, they want the information that you have, but don't want to invest in it. There you go. However, they'll invest in somebody else. What is that saying? A prophet is unknown in his own land. Mm-hmm. And you and I both know.
Yes.
We all know. You can go outside and be like, hey, thank you very much. You can go right there. They be like, oh, that's just Kim. Oh, that's just Mel. Mm-hmm. Come on now. Come on. And yet you say, we need to support our own. Now, I did see, and I'm glad that you're here. There's somebody that I know, and they opened up a chicken restaurant. Mm-hmm. And people said they need to, follow me. People, got these air quotes. The peepists. You know who that is. Rest your soul, Mr. Teague. Joe Teague, the peepists. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna post that Batman
No.
thing. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Let that be where it's at.
That
be
was
where it's
awesome.
at. That was deep cuts.
Those deep cuts.
Don't
But the
bring it up.
peeps push you and they encourage this. They
Yeah.
encourage this person to open up this chicken shop. Now, here's the thing: as an individual, as the person that's opening up the business, those people that encourage you, don't expect them to want chicken every day. Because now you're cursing everybody out on social media because nobody's coming up because they don't want chicken on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They just want it on Saturday. Now, they encourage you and say, hey, you have a good product here. This is good. I'll support you. Now, supporting you does not, you can support somebody at home. Mm-hmm. You can pray for that person. That's support. But I don't want to eat chicken and blow up every day. And then you mad at me talking about something y'all said that y'all was going to support me. If I opened up this business. So you have to look at the bigger picture and say, okay, this is something that I want to do. And I didn't do it for them. I did it for me.
Well, let me say this.
Go ahead, because I ain't eating chicken every day.
If you ain't eating chicken every day.
But when I eat it, I'll come to your spot.
Okay, when you eat it, you'll come. Because if I see you out and you eating somebody else's chicken, oh yeah, we got problems.
We got problems. if I'm Chick-fil-A and it's not a KFC.
I'm like, what is you doing? What is this? No. But I think that the problem with the thing with food though is like, especially when you're like small mom and pop, is like you need new customers all the time. You know what I mean? Like, because your repeat customers, it just ain't gonna happen all the time. You know what I mean? Like, they'll come when they can, you know, but you gotta have new people.
You know what I had to learn as an entrepreneur? Your family and your friends are your family and your friends.
Yes.
Your customers are your customers. Don't get it twisted.
Now that's it in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell. And you have people that'll be upset.
We expect, and I had to learn that. I had to get over that. Sometimes I still have to get over that. You can't expect your family and friends to support your cause just because they're your family or friend. You have to focus on who you're trying to engage with your venture. You want chicken eaters. If you're related to them, fine. If you know them, fine. But guess what? There's a whole world of people out there who've never had your chicken. That's who you need to get to.
Right.
Marketing. Focused marketing. Target marketing. That is very important. And what we tend to do in our limited access and limited vision is expect the people who say they love you to show that by supporting your product. That's emotional within a small circle. You're actually limiting your business if you keep reaching out to the people that you know. Test yourself, challenge yourself, and reach out to the people who don't know how good that chicken is yet.
Yeah.
Right.
I think part of that though is like, we all have been salesmen, salespeople, persons. Sorry.
He salesmen. He put an S on that.
I should have said that. I mean, we should be in a post-masculine society when we do that stuff. So, salesperson.
Yes.
We have all been a salesperson in our lives, right?
You remember that show?
I don't remember the show.
That salesman was like salesmen, like mailmen. They changed it to mail person. Go ahead.
Letter carrier, I believe.
Yeah.
Correct. So anyway, we start off what? Like, do you remember sending a mouse to college? Did anybody remember that?
Nope, I remember.
You remember that? You would get money, and then like it would be for research, and so they would like, I guess, get mouses, or they would help support research. But you would get these little plastic mouses. It was like, this is like throwback, like mice. Mouses.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Well, you get the idea of what I'm saying. Like every year there would be a fundraiser for something. You'll come home like, I gotta sell this candy, or y'all gotta buy this stuff, or whatever. So you go to like people, like it's almost like you go to family because those are, you know what I mean? But I remember like going door to door with some chocolate bars for something. I can't remember what it was for. But the point was that was like I was just going door to door, you know, but you could then. You could be 8 years old, 7 years old, go door to door and be cool. Right. You know, because for the most part, because you're in your neighborhood.
Right.
And people know you or whatever. But but that's, I think, like, sometimes people get that feeling for business of like, well, who am I serving first? Well, I serve family and friends first because I've always went to them for these fundraisers and different things like that. And I think you got a good point. Kim, what do you go by?
You can call me
Kim?
Kim.
I can call you Kim. Okay, I gotta make sure.
The go-to girl.
The go-to girl got a good point. It's like they're expanding that circle, of course, but you always try to lean on the people who have supported you throughout the years. So what you can do as a lesson for the next generation, when they come to you wanting to sell you something, say, hell no, I ain't buying nothing. Go over there to such and such house and sell it. Show them that they ain't gonna always be successful.
With the family and friends.
I totally love that.
Yeah.
Like,
one of the things we used to say was get 100 no's.
Yeah.
Like sell me on this product.
That is so cool.
Because like it reminded me when my son they wanted him to sell cookies for wrestling, and I'm like, everybody obese, man. Ain't nobody want these damn cookies, right? And I'm like, so what do y'all really want? Like, just tell me, what is y'all really looking for? Well, we're looking for a donation of every student of about $70. Okay, I will just give you the $70.
You better take this.
Because I'm like, all the people that would buy, I'm like, they ain't diabetics and stuff. I'm trying to give like, here goes some cookie dough for you. Like, nobody want that,
It was cookie dough that I did that with too.
Like, nobody, like, and my mother was like, everybody want that cookie dough. It's the holidays and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, you might be right, but I ain't really have that to do. And then I seen the one fundraiser from a school, they were selling meat. And I was like, that's the fundraiser right there. Like, it was meat. Like, they was like, oh, you can get meat.
I've seen meat fundraisers.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that was like, you can sell meat to everybody. Almost everybody.
Whoever eats it.
It's a small population of people that don't, when you think about all the meat eaters. But the point I'm saying is that, like, I'm thinking, like, sometimes you got to tell people, like, yeah, I love you, but I don't like this product.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
But you support it because you like the person.
Well, people buy because of the product or the person. But what you have to do is, I love that. I'm incorporating that into my training. I used to always say, get the 100 no's.
Uh-huh.
But I just get one no. And with that one no, what do you do to replace that?
Depending on who that no is from.
Yeah.
Well, that'll make you, meaning if it's somebody that you totally could depend on and they say no, now you really have to fight to get what you want.
But eventually you will anyway, because you're going to run out of that circle. You will have that core, like any other organization. There's going to be that core that's going to support you no matter what. Yeah. But outside that core, what's going to grow and sustain you, you don't even know those people yet. You haven't even tapped into that market yet.
Yeah. So I would, just to add to that, I would say, like, when that, like, so, like, if a youngster come to me talking about they want me to buy cookies or whatever, I'm saying, hey, no, I don't want your cookies. But what I want to encourage is then to ask this next question. Well, do you know someone who would like cookies? Mm-hmm.
Don't give up. So that's in a nutshell.
Because that would open, because I may be, like sometimes people generously just give information. I may say, you know what, I don't want these cookies, but I will make these calls for you and see if they want cookies.
So you'll open up your phone book.
Or you could say, can you, if I'm the salesperson, say to the potential customer, well, do you know someone else that would be interested in this product?
So give you a referral.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think you got to start training people that like don't take that particular no for an answer.
And I'm glad that we brought this up, and I'm going to share with you guys why. Because you have so many people, and America is so sensitive now.
Sensitive.
So sensitive. Let me tell you. Okay, I'm going to show y'all. You guys can't see it. I get, this is from a good friend of mine, Caucasian. Uh-huh. Every year, she gives me a Christmas card.
Yeah.
And it has like the white people on there, the white baby Jesus.
Is this white people?
No, this year,
they look Native American.
Yes, this year, out of all the years, I always get just Christmas card is a Christmas card, but we have become so sensitive that this year I opened it up. I said that was so nice. So I got Native American Christmas card.
Yeah, it's like it's the nativity scene.
Yes, the nativity scene.
Yeah,
and I think that I don't know if she's trying to be sensitive. Like culturally sensitive. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna get this to mail, and I'll do the. the Native American people, which is cool.
Yeah.
But guess what? Now here I am. I'm like, well, what happened to my white people?
Right.
Your
I
white
usually,
people-
I usually get a white Christmas card every year. Now all of a
get a
sudden I
white
got
Christmas
Is
now
she
card.
trying to be culturally sensitive?
right, and I know her heart. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, you know what?
Because now you feel like you're offending her by her feeling like she would have to send that to you.
right.
Yeah,
That's why I'm like, come on, America, we're messing each other up.
I don't know. I'm trying to break down this card, right? I'm breaking it down.
Break it down.
I'm breaking it
And
down.
I know she didn't mean any ill will with that card.
She probably didn't at all.
She was being culturally sensitive.
But
Maybe it was just a coincidence.
But is this
could be.
culturally sensitive to say that Native Americans would recognize Jesus Christ as their
personal savior.
Like, I mean, some may have adopted Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but like when you think about this particular scene, this is like the birth of Christianity,
Yeah.
you know. So I mean, there's a couple breakdowns I would take from it, and so like, is this happening in America, or is it happening in the Middle East? Now,
See what
now,
I'm
let me
saying?
break
And well,
down-
we already know, right?
You
You know,
know,
we going to
yeah.
the religion. Like, how can you hide
Yeah, I'm breaking down
a
again.
white
So-
man in Egypt?
Well,
You know? Let's talk. Like, okay, let's y'all talk.
well, there's sheep in here, and I don't think, like, if it's in America, I don't believe sheep are indigenous to the Northeast, North America. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think so.
Now, give me my card back.
Man, where
Did
do we
she
go with
mean
that card?
now, did she mean anything?
No, she
by
wouldn't
this?
say-
I would
Absolutely.
say absolutely
It's a
not.
beautiful card. It
Absolutely
is.
not. And here's where I'm going with that. We have become so sensitive, and it's like the coping. There's no hope for these younger people with coping. None. When you have to coddle everyone. That's why I came there when you said, "Tell that child no." You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
You have the whole bullying, like when they said, well, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, then I went into it a little bit more, and it was like the redhead misfit. They was like, oh, that's why they were really focusing on that bullying. And I said, you know what, this is what's interesting to me. You sit there, since you want to go back, okay, we're going to pull Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer off, so now they're not supposed to be showing that anymore, because they said, for bullying. They bullied Jesus. You can't get no more bullying than that. Come on now. You done nailed this man to the cross. I physically bullied this man, okay? People are forgetting that. Then you have like that, the Me Too movement with the song, we talked about it last week. What was the name of that song?
It's
the
cold
Christmas
outside.
song. Yes,
Yeah, the Christmas. It's cold outside.
Yeah.
With the Me Too movement. I'm for the Me Too movement, but y'all gone too far. You're gone too far. Let's look at those are the times, okay, you see there's an issue, let's change it. Why are we going back to change? You can't fix what already has.
Is this the time
Happened.
to bring up the Kevin Hart issue?
Yes, it is.
So y'all stealing my segment.
Okay, well, we'll wait.
No, let's go ahead.
No,
Let's go
okay.
ahead. Let's do it.
I cannot believe that. I wanted
couldn't
Kevin.
believe
I
it.
was gonna watch the Oscars for the first time
For
because
Kevin,
Hart was going to.
but here's
go.
where the sensitivity is at. This is how he believes. So here's my problem. If I believe a
Wow.
certain way,
You think he should have stepped down?
I think,
wait, before we get there, here's the
Okay.
thing. Let's catch everybody up on the Kevin Hart issue. So here I am with the sensitive America. So it's almost like, and you talk about bullying. It's like, okay, well, he's not sensitive to the gay and lesbian community because of how he feels. Now, you guys are bullying him now because he don't agree with you. What is wrong with this picture? If he said, this is what he said in the old tweet. Kevin Hart, let me catch you guys up. Kevin Hart, they said that he was gay bashing. He said if his child was gay, he don't know how he would handle it. And he's not for gay people. That's his belief and his thoughts. So now, since he believes that, now you want to bash him because of his own belief. That's a problem for me. To each his own with me. That's my thing. I don't walk down the street and say who you sleeping with. I could care less. Okay? I could care less. So that's just me. Even if you're heterosexual, I don't go and be like, oh, okay, wonder how she's sleeping with her dude. Wonder what they do. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. You are a person to me. Now, when you sit there and you have like the gay and lesbian community, when they did the whole, when they changed that flag, I was upset with that. When they changed the American flag to the rainbow flag.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't do that. Get your own flag. okay? And because it was something on, it was on social media, and you tried to change the American flag to that, and they said the new American flag. I was opposed to that, but I just feel like just because you believe. Well, wait. Let me finish. Just because you believe one way, and if you are homosexual, that's fine. But don't impress your beliefs on me. And see, and now what's happening is you are in turn becoming the bully because somebody don't believe in what you believe in. And that's an issue for me because the comments that they posted on his, on him, you know, being, you know, for the Oscars, the whole nine, they was like, well, he did this some years ago. He grew up. That's the way that he felt. So now you're saying as Americans that we can't feel the way that we feel. I got a problem with that. Just because we don't agree with you, we can agree to disagree and still be Americans. Go ahead.
Well, I got two things. I want to say this first. Everyone knows I am not a Kevin Hart fan.
We know that. We know that.
Okay. This is what I would say about Kevin Hart is that he could have kept his opinions to himself.
This was years ago.
He didn't need to say that on social media, period. He could have kept, he knows he's going into like, for example, he's going into a business where he's entertaining the masses. My thoughts are that why did you feel that it was necessary for you to put your beliefs on what you would do with your child on social media?
Because it was a question that was posed.
And guess what? The answer should have been like, I'm not answering that question. Like, you don't have to answer every question that's asked to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of feel like he didn't need to say that. Like he could feel what, like, it's people who are racist who will never say they are, but we know, you know what I mean? But the point I'm saying is that, like,
so he should have kept that at the kitchen table.
Like it wasn't important like for him to say. Like, that's like getting up this is how I feel about social media. People get up and tell you that look at my breakfast, and they be looking toe up. Look at this.
I be reporting them.
Look at that. She be reporting the picture.
I do.
But the point I'm saying is, like, nobody cares. Nobody cares until you make it an issue to care. Now I'm judging you because I think your eggs scrambled too hard, looking like popcorn on the plate. But you know what I'm saying? But the point is, I'm saying, like, I don't feel like to me, why even say that? Like, why even go out there and say that when you know that your brand is you? Your brand ain't like, because, okay, Chick-fil-A, the owner came out and said, hey, I ain't really for gay rights or whatever he wasn't for.
And that's his opinion.
But the point was that his brand was his chicken sandwiches, not him. No one's buying Chick-fil-A because they know who the owner is. They buying Chick-fil-A
because of the product.
Delicious chicken sandwiches.
It is a bomb with them pickles.
You know,
customer service is the bomb too.
Customer service is amazing.
Yeah. But the point I'm saying, they had a little tiff that went there, and then when people came out, it was like some people said they wanted to boycott him. Other people was like, we going to Chick-fil-A just because it's not only delicious, but just because, you know, whatever their beliefs were. But I would say like this, I like their motto. They close on Sunday. Love it. You know what I mean? I do. You know, but the point I'm saying is that particular person, his product wasn't him. Kevin Hart is a comedian. Comedians usually get their inspiration from experiences in their lives. And so people are looking at him like differently than they would a person who makes chicken sandwiches.
See, I got a problem with that. Go ahead, Kim.
I have so much to say. First of all, him being a comedian is what makes him in the position to say things that other people wouldn't say. Not that he was right to say what he said. I definitely agree that he didn't have to say it. But as comedians, they say a whole lot of stuff they don't have to say. But I feel like this about the whole thing. If the current president is representative of what America is, what is wrong with what Kevin Hart said?
Now, I'm with you on that one with the 45 that we got. Now, this is what I say.
The thing is like this.
He has said things that Kevin Hart stuff will never match up to.
Right, and then he stepped it down.
You're right. But the point I'm saying is, like, even when you think about 45, the issue is that he had enough support, regardless of what he said, what he did, to become president.
So we've been asking. Go ahead.
So if Kevin Hart has presented himself as having some level of homophobia, maybe, can I say it like that?
Yeah, you can say that because that's what they're pretty much saying.
Yeah, they're saying that his constituents are not those constituents that voted in Trump. It's different.
A different clientele.
Yeah.
Different
so,
customer
I mean,
base.
like, so,
But the principle hasn't changed. And might we add here that Kevin Hart did apologize for what he said.
Right, yeah. Why does he have to
He
keep
did
apologizing?
apologize for what he said.
I guess the thing is that when we think about apologies from people who are in high position, words like these are people who can do more beyond their words. That's all. Okay, go ahead. You waving?
I'm waving. I'm raising my
landed
hand.
the plane.
Please,
go ahead and say something.
this is my issue. Why do we have to apologize for what we believe? Shop Talk with Mel is a platform where it is okay to be you. Uh-huh. And to me, I feel like as long as you're not harming anybody else. Now, here's my issue. What is going? We can't even say what we want to say. So guess what? You feel shackled and held captive. And I'm not just speaking on just Kevin because I may have my views and I share my views.
Yeah, you
and
do.
this is how.
You damn sure do.
Yeah, and this is me. And like you said, yes, I'm myself and branded as myself. But how can you tell me? Like I said, to each his own. And I'm a firm believer here, and you'll hear me say it all the time. Like I said, this is a platform where it's okay to be you. But I need you to find you, embrace you, and love you. Okay? That's where it needs to be. You can be whoever you want to be. I was raised that way. Be whoever you want to be. But this is what I have to say. If I don't agree with you, I should be able to say it. Why am I being held captive? Now, I'm not able to speak now, and I need to apologize because I feel this way and I offended you.
Okay, so this is what I would say. First of all, I don't think he would be. I don't think he should have been chosen as the host of the Oscars
because he don't like him anyway.
Anyway, period. You know what I'm saying? Period. But if it was me, and I had the controversy with me, I would have did it. Because
you would apologize again?
No, I would have did the show. Because they didn't
ask him to step down
until they told him. See, this thing, I wouldn't have been proactive. I would have used it as a platform to say, okay, because when he made his statements, when you tweet something, you can't see, like, I don't think he was just saying how he felt. So there was no comedic content to it. But when the Oscars was so white, they used that as a platform to criticize themselves and to also try to bring what they also try to bring a positive to include more minorities and stuff like that in the process.
Right.
So he could have used that platform for this whole situation as well.
So he didn't have to step down.
Well, he didn't have to step. I wouldn't have stepped. I would have said, listen, this is what I wanted. I feel this way in my heart about I didn't want to offend anybody, but let me use this platform to bring equity to this issue. Not equity to my opinion for what I posted back in 10 years ago, but let's talk about this problem that is very alive in America today. And let me be that person to talk about that. He missed out on the opportunity to change the table.
Okay.
I'll agree with that because he didn't have to step down. He did miss out on the opportunity. But what I hear the two of you discussing is the difference between opinion versus condemnation. That's what I'm hearing. One of you is saying, I can have the right to my opinion, but the other one is saying, but you don't have to condemn somebody with your opinion.
Well, and that's true.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to share that. You know, he didn't have to, like, I'm just thinking, like, most stuff that happens on social media is because people just think, oh, I'll just say this. You know what I mean?
And that's what's happening.
And the thing is, people...
Facebook, it's in your face.
But was he condemning when he shared or just voicing
his opinion?
Because to me, it feels like you're saying he didn't have to say it, not only because it was offensive, but that it was condemnation for the people who live that way, who are that way.
But, I didn't take it as it being condemning to the person who lives that way. It was just his views. He felt like he wouldn't be comfortable if his son came and said that he was gay. That's it.
But I'm saying, though, when you think about being a parent, when you really think about that, like, at one time I was like, oh, I'm about to have a child. I hope it's a boy. You know, somebody could say, oh, you're misogynist because you didn't want a girl child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, or whatever. But when it really came down to me understanding what I was getting into, you know what I was praying for?
What was you praying for?
5
A healthy
fingers,
child.
5 toes.
A healthy child.
Healthy child. Like all that kind of went out the window because like sometimes you say things just because like I don't want to say you're programmed to say it, but you relate to what you connect to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like so I'm looking at like, would I be a better? I think I don't have any daughters, of course, but I mean, my thing was like, would I be? I know I could at that point in my life. I know I could do well to a guy, to a boy. You know what I mean? As far as rearing him and that kind of stuff. Which the proof is in the pudding. It's out there and it's done with. You know what I mean? But the point I'm saying is like, at that initial time when it happened, I thought about it like, how would I be able to help this young lady that I would have? Now, I would do everything I can, but can I really connect with her experiences as a woman?
Okay, and that's good. And you do, like, as a mother carrying a
Yeah.
child, you just want a healthy child.
Yeah.
I would say I have been invited to some gay weddings.
Uh-huh.
Did I go? No.
Okay.
Because I don't, my beliefs, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Do I love those people? Absolutely.
Did you go to reception?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's where the party. Like to turn up, I'm gonna celebrate with y'all. You know what I mean? No, I didn't.
Okay.
I
so
didn't.
you were okay. All right.
I didn't go, and they knew that. But guess what? I still love them. Hey, how you doing? We are cool. All is well. But I'm not going to go. Do I support you? Do I believe in love? Yes, and I believe everybody should love who they want to love. Personally, that's just not something that I'm into. Mm-hmm. Now, you can be with who you want to be with. Y'all can come over. But I won't go and witness the union and say, hey, I'm totally in support because of my own personal religious belief.
Okay,
now, I got some family members that are gay.
Uh-huh.
They come, hey, how you doing? Boom. They aren't, they're not gay so-and-so. They are Jane and Janice. You know what I'm saying? So when I see, hey, Jan, hey, Janice, not... These are my gay friends. I don't introduce them as that.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like I love them as people, not what they choose to do. But that's just me.
So this is. I mean, and I don't expect you to comment, but this is a thought I have in my head. All right. I remember I
ain't even go to a heterosexual wedding because I didn't agree with that union.
You
Okay,
agree with that?
I didn't agree with that union. You shouldn't have married her.
Okay.
She called you a B.
Well, let me.
Anytime the woman called a man to B, the relationship is over. But you married her anyway. So then, and you come to me with your problems, and you think I'm supposed to come to this union. I'm not coming to the union.
Well, this is the way I kind of feel about it. Is that like my interpretation of what my beliefs are in Christianity are different.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So this is what I would say. I'm a Christian. If I get invited to a Muslim wedding,
Okay.
would I go? Yes. So
Okay.
The point I'm saying is that their beliefs are not my beliefs, but I would still go and support them because I see what they value. I appreciate what they value.
But
you see what I'm saying?
But some Muslims are Christians. Like we were missing that because I've been to like my aunt. I've been to.
Well, the thing I'm saying is what I'm trying to say is like this: if there's a person who's getting married and their marriage is under a belief system that is not your belief, would you go to that wedding? So if they were a Buddhist, a Hindu, or whatever it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, so my thing is like, I would go because it's not necessarily what I believe that they should believe or whatever. It's my love or endearment.
Your love for those people.
You know what I mean? So however they choose to practice their beliefs, their love, their whatever, is not going to condemn my soul. So I would be in support of what they're doing.
And that's true.
Because I just kind of feel like we got to really look at the issue. And is the issue...
Is it an issue? See, that's
well, is it an issue?
Is it an issue? We trying to figure this out on this earth.
Hey, for me, I'm going because I want to help celebrate what they're doing. But I feel like I'm entitled to that big piece of chicken, and I'm gonna get it.
He going to the reception.
I'm gonna get it.
He going to the reception.
But I just kind of feel like I just kind of think like because I've been really like not like this has been something I've been thinking about a lot. Like we are so welcoming to embrace another culture or another belief, and not even say to take it on and believe that what they believe, but to say, oh, let me indulge in this culture. You got this food or you got that food and all that kind of stuff. And I just kind of feel like sometimes that the welcoming that we would give to others for their different beliefs or stuff don't really transition to the issues that we have here in our America to have full inclusion.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And this is the way that I look at things. This is no judgment zone, but we are entitled to our opinions and how we view things, because that's what we do. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be able to have a conversation, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Here's my thing. Me being a Christian,
I
believe what I believe. I believe this: having children, having sex, procreation.
Well,
A man and a woman, even though things have changed now. Shout out to Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade too. They had the child.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, through a surrogate. So things haven't.
Cares.
Yes, we do.
I don't.
We do.
I
Our listeners do. We have listeners that do. But listen, here's my thing. Here's my thing. If you can't procreate, this is my opinion. If you can't procreate, it wasn't supposed to be. So
What was
that,
it supposed to be?
Man and man. Let me finish.
Okay.
This is just me.
All
This
right.
is just me. Not you, not anybody else,
Yeah.
okay? So this is just me. Man and woman procreate. Female, male, they're able to procreate. You can have a child on your own, naturally, okay? So that's the way that I believe. That's my upbringing, and it is what it is. Do I believe in love? Yes, I do. Do I believe in adoption? I'm glad that those options are out there. Surrogates, I'm glad that those options are out there now, but I just believe what I believe. Like I said, I have a lot of friends, and don't I sound racist here? I have a lot of friends that are
My
gay.
best friends are
Yeah.
Remember, I was like, I have my best friends
He
black.
wouldn't be racist, but
No, but I'm saying
Yeah.
that's what
I get
you
you.
usually say. I have friends. Love is love, and you love who you want to love. But I just have my own, and no, I'm not going to that union. Me personally, I'm not going, and they understand that because they tell. Like I told you, I have been invited, and I respectfully declined. But I love them to pieces. That's just something that I just don't do. But we can still be cool. I'm not gonna not talk to you at the job or anything like that. You do what you do. Like I said, I don't look at people to say who they sleeping with. I really don't care. Now that I don't care about. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna let this sleeping dog lie.
Okay. All right. Well, we gonna go. Look, I'm like, we gonna go when we go.
Because there's a lot to add, but I think I said my
It
piece
is.
on
Yeah,
it.
you did.
You
Your
know what I
stance.
mean?
You got your stance. I got mine. We're gonna agree to disagree.
Well, it's
And-
not agree to disagree. It's just like I mean, I just interpret it as like if this is someone's lifestyle or culture, and I'm willing to embrace someone else's lifestyle or culture that has nothing to do with my religious beliefs, then how can I then make a statement to say, well, this I will
All behind Kevin Hart. No.
yeah, all behind Kevin Hart. But the point is that he lost an opportunity to make something
teachable
greater.
moment.
Yeah.
I
I think
get you with that.
He should have reached out to them and said, "Hey, this happened, but this is what I want to do. Are you in support of it?"
Now, right now, here's my thing, real quick, because we kind of going over. But hey, let it do what it do.
All right.
Like if you know somebody's a murderer.
A murderer? Okay.
Yeah, the killer.
A killer.
Okay, y'all know I'm going to talk about the killer. But the killer. And you know this is a killer.
Yeah.
Now, and this is totally different from this, so don't think it's
This is a different topic.
Yeah, this is a different, this is an example, totally different though. You know this person is a killer. They done did their time, they were reformed, they apologetic, they didn't probably in their own life ask God for forgiveness. I don't know, but if I know you a killer, I'm not gonna be standing there by myself with this person. I'm not gonna invite the killer to my house because guess what? You might kill me.
I thought I was gonna leave this alone, but you opened it right up.
I'm not. It ain't my place.
No, but
it ain't. And they could have did their own personal thing with
it's
God.
hot in here.
But no.
This is the example that I want to share with you. Based
Go
on
ahead,
what you
share
said.
it. Share it.
You have.
Will I communicate with the killer? But I ain't inviting the killer to my house. Go ahead.
Okay, but like
He'll
okay,
sit that story better why
all right. Because I think this was a linkage to the Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
thing,
go ahead.
right?
It was.
Okay. Okay, let's look at this.
And I should be able to say, I don't like killers.
But let's look at this. Let's put this on the platform.
Put it on the platform.
Put it on the scale. And if you will, listening audience, imagine a time scale here. Okay. So this happened 8 years ago 10 years ago for Kevin Hart.
Yeah, about 7 or 8.
What year is that?
It was an 11, wasn't it? 2011.
Okay, let's say it's 2011. It happened.
7 years ago. Yep.
2011. He said something, and it didn't come to light till 2018.
No, it was there in 2007. He apologized back then.
He apologized.
Yes.
In 2000?
That's what I'm saying.
And so
He
they brought it up
apologized
again.
for it, yes.
Okay, all right.
And they brought it up because it was Oscars.
Because I thought something was kind of funny about his first apology. It was like one of those. It wasn't really an apology. It was like, I can say what I want to say. Sort of.
It was an apology, like you said. He shouldn't have said that on social media.
Okay, all right. So let's say you had that murderer who killed somebody in 2011, and they went to jail, and they get out in 2018.
I got you.
Okay,
I got you. You got me. Go ahead.
The issue here is technically there's
You remember.
Well, you remember, but they have been brought to justice in a sense, and they have, through our legal system, atoned for that issue. Not with the family or the person that was murdered, but with the legal system. There was an atonement because they served that time. There was some level of corrections that was supposed to happen during that time, right? Mm-hmm. So my question to you is, when Kevin Hart made those statements, whatever years ago, outside of apologizing, what did he do to atone for that statement over that time period to now?
Does he even have to? That's just what he believes. See, that's what I'm saying.
But the thing is that he has a platform, and he could have used that platform to say, "Hey, I said this thing wrong about how I would feel about."
But did he say it wrong?
I don't know.
See,
Obviously, he said it wrong enough.
He said it the way he wanted to say it. I get what you're saying. Just like I used the example or analogy of the killer. Listen, the killer done did that. He didn't harm nobody in my family. But in my mind, guess what? I don't want to go on a date with the killer.
But you know what would have been so sweet, though?
But I remember he killed somebody. I will talk to you. I'll communicate with you, but I don't want to go on a date.
This would have been the thing.
They tried to hook me up with the killer. Let me put it out there.
Hook you up with the killer.
And I don't know if they know.
Loving you to death.
Listen, I don't want them loving me to death. The killer's a nice person, but I don't want to deal with the killer. I don't know the circumstances that happened. I don't even want to know.
Human blood.
Listen, I don't know what's going on. Like I said, the killer is a nice person, but I'm not inviting the killer to my house.
But that's cool, though. You don't got to invite the killer to your house.
So I don't agree with what the killer did, but I don't just sit there and just count the killer out. I'll communicate with the killer. Like I said, the killer can't come to my house, but I'll see you out. How you doing?
Yeah.
All is well. And yes, you did this, but in the back of my mind, I remember. So I get even with Kevin Hart, somebody who is gay, and he voiced his opinion on how he felt, and they remember it, but that's no reason to condemn him or try to bully him, because that's what's happening. Even with 45 is a mess. We all know that. But guess what? The same people that's saying he's a mess and don't like what he's doing, you got memes out there talking about how he is. That's a form of bullying too. So guess what? You are upset. You are upset because you feel as though that he's not doing things politically correct and bullying people, but yet you're doing the same thing.
I don't know.
You might not agree, but you're bullying is bullying.
It's the same, because the thing is, he's the leader of this.
The free world. I get you.
So he should be
politically correct.
No. People should have an opportunity to say that they are not pleased with what he's doing.
And being pleased with what they're doing is one thing.
The point I'm saying is, when we talk about the murderer and Kevin Hart, when his event
that was just my example.
That was just your example, but it was a great example, because you can see the like, I paid my debt to society with the prisoner,
right,
versus Kevin Hart. Now, it would have been great if Kevin Hart would have been like, y'all bringing this up? Since I made those statements, this is what I have done to bring light to
and he could have
used it.
Yes. He shouldn't have stepped down. I agree with you.
Yeah, but the thing was, he ain't do no work in between that time frame.
What work was he supposed to do?
Yeah, it was his opinion.
But his opinion left people feeling that he was homophobic. So he had an opportunity to say, hey, I am not this, but this is how I feel. But since I feel this way, there may be other parents who may deal with this as well. So what can I do?
So you want him to
help
go
that
to
population?
reform school?
Hey,
listen,
all I'm
opinions
saying-
are
I
like
ain't saying he had to go to
buttholes.
school.
Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody
I'm
got
just
one,
saying-
no pun intended.
I'm just saying he didn't atone. I'm just saying, like, he didn't pay. Like, if they felt like he did this thing and it was a bad thing, where did he pay his debt to society to take that? Use
All
that
of us
opportunity?
would have to do that for anything
But
we've
do-
ever
but
done.
the
Just
point
because
is-
he's famous doesn't change the
It
fact
does.
that
It
No.
absolutely does. It absolutely does.
No.
It absolutely does.
So you think that he needs to be held accountable for the way that he feels?
because he's famous.
I
So what
I
have
think-
I've
I
done
think
things that I
everybody-
would like to hope that if I said I was sorry for and I
Uh-huh.
was sincere about
Uh-huh.
it, that if I run for office 10 years from now,
Yeah.
it won't come back up.
Okay, but the issue is that he had a level of responsibility then as he does now because he's put himself in the place to be a public figure. And so my thoughts are that when that situation happened, like it's just like if you have someone, I'm trying to think of somebody. Oh, what's the Sarah McLachlan? Like her song is for that. I hate seeing that commercial because they show the one-eyed dogs and all that kind of stuff, whatever. And but the point is that she seen an issue that she wanted to bring attention to and use her fandom, fame, popularity, position, to bring light to something that she thought was wrong.
Okay.
So he had the same opportunity to bring light to something that he felt that he may have said it was wrong, but he could have did
Why
more.
is somebody's opinion wrong?
It's not that his opinion is wrong; it's that he shared his opinion. He could have just shut the hell up and not say nothing.
This is the difference between opinion versus condemnation. That's what's happening here because Rugal is seeing how it attacked the people who live that way, and he should not have said it. You're looking at it as that's the way he felt. You can't be wrong in your opinion. It's the way you think. So why couldn't he have said it?
Okay.
You two are,
but yeah, that's
the arguments on the same coin.
I'm trying to decide. Are you two having the same conversation? Because one is talking opinion, one is condemnation. The ability to share this space without feeling attacked in it. Everybody should be able to be who they are without stepping on other people's toes.
And so they're not allowing him to be who he is. They can be who they are, and they can sit there and say, "No, that's not right." Okay, no, and I feel bad that you did this, but he can't. So come on now, come on.
I'm just saying that I just feel like
it's a double-edged sword.
Is that like if I feel a certain way about something, I don't feel I need to come on Shop Talk and talk about my personal beliefs.
But she feels that she
you
can.
should.
But no, I'm just saying. Okay, like for example,
that's why you here to talk about your how you feel.
But yeah, I may feel, and a lot of times my beliefs are translated into what I say. A lot of times, just like I just said about I would go to the wedding. The point I'm saying is that like I just feel that if there was he by him apologizing again, by him stepping down again, it is not showing any like. I'm gonna pull out. You can ding me on this or not. It's not showing any restitution in a sense for the thing that he said that he was sorry about.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. He apologized. So if he genuinely apologized, what steps have he made to make it better?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, like him stepping down again, and then this is the thing I'm saying. Him stepping down from this thing again is him saying, "Well, I'm sorry, but I don't want to do this." When he could have used this as an opportunity to probably touch a lot of other people. I ain't saying I can't question the man's sincerity.
Okay,
I can't question his sincerity. But I'm just saying that, like, I wouldn't have went out like that.
I'm just starting stuff.
I wouldn't have went out. Like, I only used it as an opportunity.
Okay.
Until they would have told me no. But I would have reached out to them and said, this is what I want to do. Are you with me?
Okay.
And then I would have made that public to say, I wanted to use this as a platform, like the Oscars has used racism as a platform, as the Oscars so white and all that stuff to bring light to an issue.
Okay.
And I think that's why he stepped down, is because he did not want to use it as an opportunity or for it to be overshadowed by that situation. He felt that the Oscars was something that was more worthy than being overshadowed by any negativity, and that's why
But
he
that
stepped
is,
down.
I understand what you're saying, but the way
We're gonna offend
the way
somebody's.
it's not about about offending people, but it's about the Oscars,
You
the
can't make everybody
NFL,
happy.
all that kind of stuff are mainstream American entertainment venues that people use to always get across a message. If it's the first African American baseball player, or if it's like whatever the issue happens to be, I just kind of feel like in these forums you cannot just say that all these movies that have been made have always been a reflection of what society is. So I think this was an opportunity to say, like, this is what happens in people's lives, but this is a way that we can understand people's differences. He ain't got to change his belief system. He just got to be more understanding.
Well, he was talking about his own personal issue, but okay, let's scale it back some. You go to somebody's house. If somebody offers you something and you say no thank you, that person gets offended. So let's say non-pork eaters, and I offer you a pork chop and you say no thank you, I'm offended. Are you going to taste it because you care about me being offended and you're at my house? Or do you say I don't eat pork?
Well, I think in this society, you can you have the opportunity to decline on things.
It don't sound like it. Now let me move on to that. Don't sound like it.
Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom.
Wait, I gotta move on because we're running out of time. Let's talk about this Hot Topics. Wait, this is gonna bring it in here. Hot Topics. There was a principal. She banned candy canes it's an elementary school in Nebraska. So she didn't want it to be politically correct, so they can't like decorate. They can only do like Christmas lights, stuff like that. But she banned candy canes in the school because she said it's shaped in the J as Jesus. How do you feel about that?
Upside down. If anything, it should be looked upon as a shepherd's staff.
That's probably why she said no.
You know, but not. I mean, that's crazy and ridiculous, and it's crazy.
He stood up.
It's crazy. Get them kids candy canes.
Listen, this is what she said. The principal at Manchester Elementary School. Listen, as Jennifer Sinclair, that's her name. She sent out notices as far as regarding a memo earlier this week, where to what's considered appropriate for classroom decorations. Okay, now she was told, I want to make sure I get all of this stuff right here. The decorations included Santa, Christmas trees, reindeer, green or red items, or even candy canes. Those things could not be included in the classroom decorations. They were not acceptable, for the elementary schools. Santa, Christmas trees, reindeer, green.
Santa?
Listen, green or red items.
Silver and gold?
Nope, I'm about to tell y'all why. The candy canes were prohibited because Sinclair deemed where is it out here? Sinclair deemed them to have religious significance. Historically, the shape is a J for Jesus. The red is for the blood of Christ, and the white is a symbol of his resurrection. So that's why they can't have the candy canes.
Absolutely insane. You could get candy canes in all kinds of delicious flavors and colors.
you know he likes the delicious stuff.
Yes, he likes
this
delicious
is ridiculous.
things.
What if I come in with blue candy canes? Because you can get them.
She did the colors too. She said the colors too.
I said blue.
Yeah, she said colors
Purple.
too. Any of them.
Multicolored
Because of the
ones.
J shape. Now
it's a cane. It's not a letter. It's a cane. A cane is supposed to have a hook at the top.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with it. It's so you can hang delicious candy from your tree.
I'm telling you, this is the stuff
Where's the conservatives at in Nebraska? They need to step up and change this.
They need to do something.
They ain't saying nothing about the conservatives and the liberals need to get up and say this is ridiculous.
Well, the teachers are feeling their kind of way, so they're just like removing Christmas altogether because guess what? Somebody is offended.
But guess what?
So that's why. So no candy canes because somebody is offended.
She's a crazy person.
Look.
Because my thing is like this: if you got let's say
She needs to apologize.
Hold on, you got the 4th of July, right?
She needs to apologize.
Because it's like this: you got the 4th of July. What if somebody said, "Well, you can't celebrate the 4th of July with red, white, and blue because those are the colors, and it may offend somebody."
That's what we're coming to now.
It's crap. It's bull. And
This
the thing
is what we're
about it
coming
is
to
like
now.
this. Now, I ain't really a Santa Claus person. You know,
Okay.
I don't hate Santa. You know, I got love for the man. But at the same time, Santa is not tied to religion.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? That's been part of the problem.
Right.
Is that, like,
That's the
people have been like materializing Christmas with Santa.
Commercializing
Yeah,
it.
commercializing. You got me right thinking
This is so crazy.
You know, that's
I don't know what to
crazy.
say to that. Our country has gone from nothing goes to anything goes.
And-
There's
and
no
that's what-
balance.
But
There's
what
no
about
balance.
freedom of
And that's
speech?
the problem.
Yeah.
And the problem is
There's
we're
no
getting
balance.
ready to be, we're not going to have freedom of speech anymore because we're getting bullied by the people that felt they were bullied. Let's be real.
They are becoming what they spoke against.
Yes.
Exactly.
There is no balance.
There's
Yes.
no balance. We've gone from one extreme to the complete other extreme.
It's like, give me a break. So what do you do?
What are the other things on that list?
The Christmas tree, the candy
Christmas
cane.
tree. What is a Christmas tree?
Reindeer.
Because her whole point is that not everyone celebrates Christmas. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well,
right.
That because Christmas is, even though the country recognizes it as a universal holiday, not everyone within the country does. And
Right.
it sounds to me like she's trying to just
Okay.
squash those, you know.
You're gonna eliminate everything.
So this will be my thing then. Use this as an opportunity to say, if it's happy holidays, then have all holidays represented. So have your Christmas trees, have your Jesus, have your
Easter
Ramadan, have your Drados,
Hanukkah.
have your Hanukkah, have your Kwanzaa,
Kwanzaa.
have it all. Have a holiday of fiasco. What is it? Extravaganza. You know what I mean? Like, this is the opportunity for that. You know what I mean? Like, so instead of like saying we ain't gonna do these things because of this one thing, let's do all the things. It makes such. It would make. I mean, you can just do all the things. Like, you can have kids have like different foods from different places to come and just try them. Like, this is what these people eat on Christmas or whatever. This is what these folks have. This is what this people have. This is a time for prayer. This is a time for lights. This is a time for family. All that kind of
Introduce all
stuff.
cultures.
It could have been such a great opportunity to say, in our society in Nebraska, we don't have a whole lot of people of different minorities and colors and things like that and beliefs. I would think. Maybe I'm saying the statement out there, but this would have been a grand opportunity to say, this is a time of celebration for the world, and this is how the world celebrates this differently than you, but we should embrace these differences.
Okay.
Instead of excluding what shouldn't have been, it should have been, let's do everything.
I was going to, instead of eliminating everybody, celebrate everybody. Because that is absolutely.
I need to take
what
that.
are we teaching our kids in a situation like that? That what for those who are into Christmas, you have just, I don't know, are we going to use the word condemn them? And for those who are not,
And told him it wasn't right. Right.
I mean, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I'm sorry. I think my volume is high today.
You all right?
Am I okay? Yeah, y'all take me. I'm gonna have to take a nap.
What you say? You got to take a nap.
Because I mean, that's kind of deep right there.
It's just like you can. That was a grand opportunity to do something great.
And I do want to say that Rugal is making great points today.
Yeah.
And in the midst of controversy,
Not today. Every day.
our super Rugal.
Right. Right.
But in the midst of all of the controversy and all of the discussions about opinion versus condemnation and whether or not we should have, Christmas in the classroom, these are opportunities to educate on sharing how America can come together instead of how it can be most divided.
Because
agree
that's
with
what's
you on
happening.
that.
It's like a
But
division.
I think being up on 1,000 is pretty good today.
All right.
Because you're hitting it. He is.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just.
Because that sent me over the top too. First of all, if you really want to know about it, Yeshua starts with a Y, not a J.
Right. Word.
Indiana Jones, y'all.
Okay,
It all
then.
goes back to Indiana Jones, like I was trying to say earlier.
Trying to make it happen. Trying to
We
make it
talked about
happen.
That. That was in the Last Crusade. That was one of the puzzles to get to the other side.
All right, Rugal. What is happening in the movie world?
Hey, for all y'all fanboys, fangirls, fan people, whatever I can say, there has been some great things that have recently just developed. And one of those things is that the new Avenger movie trailer is out. It is Avengers Endgame is the name of the movie that will be coming out. The other great thing about this is that they have moved up the release of the movie. It was scheduled for May. Now it's coming out in April. I'm excited, enthusiastic, and can't wait. I actually had to take a break from here to do my research because when I seen that the video was out, the trailer, I walked out the room and I went and watched it a couple times, y'all. And I'm like, this they give you a little, but they give you so much. These guys really know what they're doing with this stuff. I think we need to have another Rugal movie with Rugal event. I can't think of what it is going to be, but I think we need to do it for Infinity Wars. We'll have more details about it in the future. The other thing is that there's a different holiday movie coming out for the first time, and who knows, it may become a classic. There is going to be a Deadpool Christmas movie, and it's being released December 12th in select areas, and it seems to be mighty funny. The trailer is out for that, and it is PG-13, so this is actually a Deadpool movie that you can take youngsters to, I suppose, versus the other ones that have been R. So that is out there. And so we think that that's going to be pretty funny. If it's in my area, I'm going to see it. And unfortunately, so far, it is not. So that may be a trip that I take in the near future. So the Golden Globes for 2019 has announced its nominees. And this is for Best Picture, A Star is Born, Black Klansman, which is the Spike Lee movie. Black Panther is on this list. Bohemian Rhapsody, and If Beale Street Could Talk. If Beale Street Could Talk is a story adapted from Baldwin, James Baldwin. James Baldwin was a civil rights figure back in the day, and this was a story that he wrote. The great thing about this is that a lot of these writers that are African American have not really had their works translated to the big screen. So this is something that seems to be a great triumph at this time to bring light to these great writers. Not more light, I should say, because there's been other people's works that have been adapted, but James Baldwin's was not. So this is one of those great things there. And what that means is that there are 3 black movies that are up for Best Drama for the Golden Globes. So that's awesome right there. And then Enter the Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man movie is up for Best Animated Movie, and that is along with The Incredibles 2, Isles of Dogs, Mirai, and Ralph Breaks the Internet. The important thing that you need to know about the Spider-Man movie is that movie is directed by our man Donald Glover. So that's out there. We're going to skip that category because I don't think he was interested in that. And for Best Musical and Comedy, the Crazy Rich Asians is out, and they're actually working on 2 sequels to that movie right now. And Green Book is also listed under that category as well. And Vice is the story of Vice President Dick Cheney, and he's being played by Batman, what's his name? Christian Bale. So, and he's also up for Best Actor. We got John David Washington for Black Klansman. He'll be up for an Oscar. Oscar or Golden Globe, along with Bradley Cooper and others. I'm skipping through this because I don't have a lot of time. And then as Best Actor, Christian Bale is again there for his role as Dick Cheney, and Viggo Mortensen for Green Book, and John C. Reilly for Stan and Ollie. And let's see who else is up here that we may see. Lady Gaga has her nod for A Star is Born. Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me? Kevin Hart, no, we can't.
Clearly.
I'm playing. There's forgiveness for Kevin Hart. Okay, and also up for a supporting actor for Black Klansman is Adam Driver, who is Kylo Ren in the Star Wars movies, and Mashallah, I always mess up his name.
Yeah, you do. And I can't help you on that one. He's
in Green Book, and he's nominated as well for supporting actor. So that is some of the stuff. Oh yeah, I'll be remiss if I didn't say this. For Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role in a Motion Picture, there is Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk. She's being nominated for that. And Spike Lee is being nominated for Best Director of a Motion Picture.
It's about time. Which one? For the Black Klansman?
Black Klansman.
Yeah,
It's about time. Spike Lee been doing some stuff for a long time.
Best Screenplay, Green Book is up for that. If Beale Street Could Talk is also in there. And Vice, the movie about Dick Cheney. Those are some of the ones that are in there. And for Best Song of Motion Picture, Black Panther is there. A Star Is Born. And
That's with Lady Gaga.
yeah, and we'll move on from that category. For Best Original Score in Motion Picture, they have A Quiet Place, which is funny because it's a movie about being quiet. So Black Panther is also on this list, and Mary Poppins. The return of Mary Poppins Returns is on the list.
She making a comeback.
Yeah. For Best Performance by Actor in a TV Series, we got Billy Porter in Pose. I haven't seen that. And Stephan James in Homecoming. Haven't seen that. Richard Madden in Bodyguard. Matthew Rhys in The Americans. And Jason Bateman in Ozark. And for Best Performance by an Actor in a Limited Series or Motion Picture made for television, Antonio Banderas for Genius is nominated, along with Hugh Grant for A Very English Scandal, and some others. Benedict Cumberbatch for his portrayal of Patrick Melrose. Let's see who else. Best Performance by Actor in a TV Series. Donald Glover for Atlanta. Jim Carrey for Kidding. Michael Douglas for the Kominsky Method. And Sacha Baron Cohen as Who is American. And Bill Hader for Barry. Best Actresses.
I didn't see any of those.
Yeah. Best Actresses is Sandra Oh and Julia Roberts and others. And there is Regina King for 7 Seconds. She's been nominated for Best
That was good.
I couldn't watch it.
That was a good movie.
I just didn't have when it came out. I had some other stuff going on. I couldn't do it. Best Performance by an Actor in a Limited Series or a Motion Picture made for television. And so she's nominated for that. Best Performance by an Actress in a Comedy Series, Musical or Comedy. Is some people here. Deborah Messing for Will and Grace. Kristen Bell for The Good Place, along with others. And once again, it's good to see that Henry Winkler is being nominated for his role.
Good for him.
And there is Sandy Newton is being nominated for her work in Westworld, along with Alex Borstein for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And she is the woman who does the voices on the show Family Guy. She's Lois.
All right, we ain't even gonna talk about that. When is the Oscars coming on?
Well, this isn't the Oscars. This is the Golden Globes. Oh. I think it's scheduled for January 6, 2019. I know that sound.
What is it?
That sound is
Mel's Medical Moments. Hey, we're going to talk about vitamin D and why it is important for us. In case you guys did not know, you do need vitamin D. Why? To absorb the calcium and promote bone growth. Listen, if you don't have vitamin D, especially in children, it's called rickets, softening of the bones. And in the old people, you'll sit there, fall down, and break that hip, and then we got bigger problems, all right? Oh, now, I'll tell you this, vitamin D deficiencies has been linked to breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, heart disease, depression, and, of course, that lovely weight gain that we talked about earlier. Now, here's the deal. We need you guys to make sure you have some vitamin D. Why? Because it prevents autism. It prevents autoimmune disease, prevent cancer, as I stated earlier, chronic pain, depression, diabetes, and heart disease, high blood pressure, flu. You just need to build your immune system up. So you need that vitamin D. So make sure you lovely people are eating that broccoli up, okay? And also, just like I said, the softening of the bones for the little kids, it also will, if you have a lot of vitamin D, it can potentially prevent osteoporosis in the elderly people. All right? All right, so there you have it. Vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D. Why do I say vitamin D? Because of where we live at.
Yeah.
And there's no sun.
No sunshine.
So if you was living on the West Coast, boom, boom, like your girl, you was getting vitamin D all year round. And that's probably why most of us, probably like, 80% of us get vitamin D.
Deficiency?
We get vitamin D prescriptions from our doctors.
I have to have that.
From our doctors.
Yes, from my
I had to look at Kim the
So-
nurse.
so
Kim
now-
RN up in this mug, like, we had that
Now I will
discussion.
blame all my things on my not taking my vitamin D.
You can do that, but I
Vitamin
need you
D.
to get it. Yeah, you're fat. Vitamin D
Vitamin D.
deficiency.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with those delicious foods.
But they don't. Or there's those delicious candy canes that they trying to get rid of.
Talking about that, I've been seeing, like, when I'm playing my games or whatever on my phone, like, there'll be this thing that'll pop up with these different, like, sort of drinks about reducing fat, and they're tying them to, what's that show? The Shark
Tank?
There you go.
They tying it to Shark Tank?
I don't know. I don't watch it.
Okay, me either. But that's what I was like,
the
what?
point they were saying that these were
Clearly.
featured on there is like weight loss things. I can't even think what they were because the commercials look so ridiculous on my phone. So I don't know. Thought y'all might have some insight on that.
Don't even. Well, we don't even watch that show. That's a shame. I like glance at it a little bit and then I'm done. All right. So let's ask this question: does chili go with rice or crackers? I never even seen it
Or
with
spaghetti.
chili with spaghetti. What?
If-
Crackers.
If you from Cincinnati, that's how they have their chili.
Chili with spaghetti?
Yeah, you never.
You
heard
mean
of
like
it?
the chili beans and the pasta?
Like chili? Like here's some chili and here's some noodles.
So
That's called spaghetti.
with beans.
With beans.
With kidney beans. With the kidney
Cincinnati.
beans in it?
Cincinnati chili.
Oh,
Y'all
I
never
missed
heard of
that.
this?
Mm-mm, and I live
Y'all
in
ever heard
Cincinnati.
of Skyline?
Missed it?
Skyline?
I missed that too.
Y'all know
Like,
Skyline, right?
no.
Bam.
Skyline is a hot dog place. They got. I'm not really a fan of their stuff, but I did try. But I did not try the spaghetti. I mean the spaghetti noodles with the.
This is in Cincinnati?
Yeah. This is a whole thing.
Rice, crackers, or cornbread?
Ritz crackers.
She said crackers. What'd you say?
Chili.
Chili.
Whoo. See,
I never heard it with rice. Like that's like a whole nother meal, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can see rice. Rice would be more palatable, I think,
I
than
was gonna say, I
spaghetti
can see
noodles.
with the bean. I mean, with the rice.
Can you? That's a whole nother
But-
meal.
but-
That's
but-
like beans and rice.
But when you talk
With meat.
about
With meat in it.
when you talk about chili and like cornbread, though, I would think that would be more delectable. You know, especially like if you had you like some, like, because this is a Southwest thing. Like if
Okay.
you had it like really like a spicy, robust chili, and you had like some cornbread that where it was like maybe you had like not a sweet cornbread or whatever, but something where it was like some peppers in there and things like that, like how they would like traditionally make it in that area. Then I think that would be like amazing, making me want chili right
I
now.
was ready to say you.
He do good. He do great commercials.
try that.
All right, let me finish it with these hot topics because we intertwined in our basic conversation today. And this, you know what, this conversation was not basic, so let me get that right.
Mine was basic.
All right. Let's talk about, you said A Star is Born with Lady Gaga. Well, you do know, in case you didn't know, I will tell you right now, Madonna got a problem with Lady Gaga. Girl, bye. Lady Gaga is not responding. She says she likes Madonna. And Madonna, I'm going to need for you to just sit down and let it go,
Guess
okay?
what?
Because she's being nominated. We're not doing that because I got a show to do, okay?
Nobody
And also,
cares.
yes, we do care. On Shop Talk with Mel, we do care. We got to get Rugo out. Rugo, just do your section because we have to
I'm
say
gonna tell
it.
you.
Also, no.
We can
Then
go-
we also have the Hot Topics with R. Kelly. They're doing a screenplay, not a screenplay, a screen playing of his movie that's supposed to come out, which is showing how, and so it's called Surviving R. Kelly, and it's about him pretty much doing what he does with these women, okay? Well, guess what? During that screenplay in Chicago, there was a bomb threat, so they had to evacuate everybody out, and they thinking that he had something to do with it. And I'm thinking, y'all making a movie off of this thing? Like, that is really surprising to me. And I told you guys about Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. Now, I wanted to go into that a little bit more. She used a surrogate, but she had posted a picture where she was in the hospital in a gown. Well, social media was upset because they're like, you ain't even have a baby and you pretending like you had a baby, because she was like plain natural face, no makeup, and she had this gown and she was in the hospital right after the child was born. Well, she came out, and I think her and him, Dwayne, were on Oprah.
They're going to be on
and,
Oprah.
And they, so y'all didn't see it yet, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. She actually speaks on, and he said that he felt bad the way that social media ate her up after she posted that picture. And yes, if she wouldn't have posted the picture, you don't have to deal with that. I already know where he's going. If you wouldn't have said it or posted it out there to be judged, you wouldn't have been judged.
You put yourself out there.
Right. But what
You have a platform.
yes. You have a responsibility. So what ends up happening is what they're doing with the surrogates now, in case you guys don't know, right after you have the baby, what they want to do is skin to skin.
Bonding moment.
For bonding, skin to skin. So as soon as they took the baby from the surrogate, they put the baby next to Gabrielle so they could kind of have that bonding moment, skin to skin, or trick the baby, or I don't know. I don't want to say trick. I'm just going to say it. The baby, okay, this is my mommy and I had her. And yes, it is your mother, but they pretty much want them to be really close. So that's what they're doing now. So that's why she posted that picture of her having it, and everybody's like, you ain't even had no baby, so why would you even do that? But that is the reason. That's what they're doing now with the surrogates.
Can I say this real quick?
As long as it's not that we don't care, because we do.
This is what I care about from this story. I'm saying this on Saturday, December 8th, 2018, at whatever time it is. Before
11:53.
11:53. I guarantee you in the future, there is going to be a study to say, how do kids that were born to surrogates, do they have any, in the womb experiences that they remember throughout childhood that may sever their connection with the parent that is actually rearing them.
That's
I'm putting that out there.
He put it
That's
out
gonna
here
be
December the 8th.
Watch. That's all I had to add to that. I'll guarantee you there's going to be a study on that.
I'm sure,
I don't
because
know when
there's
it's
a lot
gonna
of
happen,
surrogacy
but it's
going
gonna-
on.
Yeah.
I know somebody that I work with, and what she does actually, I wonder, I gotta ask her too. She orders sperm from the sperm banks. She doesn't have a father. She orders sperm, and there was one particular guy, I think she has 3 children with the same sperm.
Donor.
Look, with the same sperm. Donor, you're right. So the kids look similar, but she's okay with raising her children as a single parent. And then he ran out of sperm, so she had to get somebody else's.
He ran out.
Well, donor. The
Quit
donor.
donating.
He stopped donating. So now she had to find
She
somebody
used
else.
to say, come back from
She doesn't know
demand.
him. She doesn't know him, so she
I
orders
didn't
it.
even tell the people that. Like,
We need some more.
I want sperm XYZ numbers 8909.
Right.
Can we get it
So
back
she's
from
going to
Proper
be on the
Demand?
show. She's going to be on the show, and she said she's okay with being
On this show?
Yeah, she'll be on Shop Talk with Mel.
Oh.
Yes. So she
Being a what?
with
Being,
being a single parent. She said she's okay with being a single parent, so they don't have the father. So she's like, she mails it, they send it, and she inserts the sperm in herself, and she carries it, and she has her children. So we're going to talk about that. And now her kids are getting older, like I said. So I said that's interesting, especially when it's
when is she
hard.
going to be on the show?
I'll
That
see
is
her.
very
Yes.
interesting.
When we talk about that too, I'm going to bring up the issue of CRISPR. People don't know that this is a scientific method where you can actually alter DNA. And in China, they have produced 2 twins that are supposed to be, if you can say the word, impervious or not affected by the HIV or AIDS virus. So what's happening is there's this conversation about if this method will be used for designer babies.
Human manufacturing.
And see, and that's too much. That's too much.
Yeah.
Designer babies. I ain't lying, because when I carry mine, and you do sit there and you say you want them healthy. That was it. Yeah. And I remember looking at my husband, and I'd be like, I hope they have your eyes, your nose, certain parts. And I lucked out. On one, end up that way. One end up looking like me. One end up looking like the father. But it was all right, And it was like, wow, she got his, and she looked like just like him. But those are the qualities that I saw in him, and I was like, oh, that'll be laid out. You know what I mean?
Like,
this child gonna be beautiful. I got some beautiful kids.
When I see
Beautiful children, my mother don't like kids.
When I see your children with their father, I'm like, oh, I see the resemblance. But when I see them just by themselves, like them is hardcore. Y'all genes is like strong,
and you can tell
the force is strong in y'all genes.
The force is strong.
Yeah,
it's interesting. But this is nuts, but it's the truth. I could look at my children and tell. So, me and the husband, clearly husband. Okay, done. I could tell when he's close by. because they morph into him. No lie. I'm not making this up. I could look at the girl and I'll say, your father must be here. And it'll be a call like an hour later. Hey, I'm in town. I could look at the boy and he starts walking. I'm like that. I said, mm-mm. And then guess what? He'll be like, oh, I talked to my dad today. It's different. And I'm like, ooh, look, so you can actually see that. Now this design, and the reason I brought that up is like these designer kids, come on, quit playing. Just let your child be. Gert got 4 toes. Let Gert have 4 toes.
Yeah, but I could very much see that being a thing. Like I could.
That's too much. We're too commercialized and materialistic.
Well, I mean that's the danger. Like the question is because we can do it, should we do it?
And no, we should not.
Well, I mean,
and you know what?
Because we just talking about it. Like from eye color.
That's the question
like,
of the day.
Yeah. Because we talk, people might say, well, I want my kids to have green eyes or something like that or whatever. But I know people who have sought out certain people to procreate with because of what they may have.
And that's true.
So, you know what I'm saying? I see that a lot. And then,
that's true.
You know, but I think that the question comes into play, like, because we're talking about this from a level of like just a superficial piece of it. Some of this is with their scientists that did was something about how do we correct, like there's this disease that we do not have a cure for, but maybe we can design people not to be affected by this disease. So that begs the question of like, well, how can this work? How can this work for cancer prevention? How can it work for diabetes or any chronic illness or anything like that? You know, I mean, there's some.
So you just gonna make kids to say that? No,
I don't know.
No.
I don't know if you say you make kids, but you may be able to
go just make
you
some
may be
kids
able
on
to
the
figure
stove,
out,
just stir them up.
But that's what we do anyway. That's what people do as a society. You choose people based on what you think is perfect about them.
Absolutely.
You make friends with people based on what you think is perfect or imperfect. I mean, we do that anyway. So we have actually created the mindset of making us better than we already are. We have already created the mindset of not being perfect and striving for perfection. I mean, we're doing it with healthcare. We're doing it with everything.
We're doing it. We're picking our mate.
Look at how many illnesses we have. All the illnesses that they want to cure. Look at our own contribution to some of these illnesses. I mean, there's such a bigger picture here. And there's never enough. Let's always make it better. Let's always do more. We have plastic surgery. We have liposuction. We have all of these other things going on. So we've actually created the mindset that people are not enough where they're at. Let's make them better. Let's use them to perfect our race.
What they believe is perfection, because Lil' Kim looking a mess.
But I'm serious.
She was prettier before.
There's a whole mindset that people are not enough as is.
That's the same thing with Vivica Fox.
I liked her before. What happened?
Yeah. Me and my wife, we were watching Kill Bill, and I said, "Do you know who that lady is?" Because she watches the afternoon show.
She changed her face.
Yeah, she didn't puffed up.
Ago.
Where people are not accepting who they are just because of this situation. It's like, okay, we can make ourselves better, but they look beautiful before and they don't see it. Just like anorexia and bulimia. Those are things. That's a great example of that person looking in the mirror, not believing that they're thin enough, and they are thin enough, but they see something different. So we as a society need to come together and accept people for who they are, and not shut them down and bully them, because this is an ongoing thing, and it's not just with the LGBTQ community. It's with a lot of everything.
The hormones in the food. What does that do to us?
Yes.
I mean, you have to look at the bigger picture here. Where is all of this illness coming from? Where is all of this mindset coming from? This didn't happen. It has happened over time.
Progressively.
Yeah. I mean, we have things that are systemic in our cultures and our governments that we are trying to overcome and fight on a different plane. And then there's things where it's just like, this is like some things, like the only way you'll escape them, especially food things, is that you produce your own food.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Or, you know, people say organic this or whatever. I mean, but, you know, if but you may have to actually go back to having a garden in your own yard. They say, well, I know I got these tomatoes and there's nothing on them. Because
right.
You know. I mean,
because you're trying to mass produce everything.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's a lot of the illness right there.
Mass producing.
So
and I want
to go ahead.
And I want to put out there, in case you guys don't know, there's a rise on hepatitis A. So go ahead and get checked if you have any of those lovely and see those symptoms are like flu-like symptoms. Go call your doctor, let them know, especially in this area. I'm in the Youngstown, Ohio area. I don't know what's going on the other side of the world, but please, please, please get checked. And I'm speaking from knowledge. I'm not guessing.
Because I know B and know C, and there's some
So,
other ones.
well done food. Make sure, cook your food well done. You guys are eating that rare meat. Be careful. Be
Wash
careful.
your
Be careful.
hands.
Yeah, universal precautions.
But what is the A, though? A is only for a period of time, though, right? When you have hepatitis A, it's not like the other ones are sort of like long.
People who have immune issues, they're more susceptible to getting Hep A. Now, there was a case where we had a female who hers ended up being bad, and her eye, the yellow of her eyes were like jaundice, which is well, the white of her eyes were like jaundice, which is a yellowing, and so she ended up being in ICU. Some people may be asymptomatic and still positive for hepatitis A. Now we know, and this is public knowledge over in Niles, Ohio, that Taco Bell over there, Hep A.
When?
This was
weeks ago.
Yeah, I ended up talking about it on Shop Talk, so you have to watch even your fast food. Hey, we washing hair. We wiping everything down with Rubelene. Ah, look at him. He look like a ghost on Pac-Man. He act like a ghost on Pac-Man.
Because
Because it was so delicious.
Right. Yeah, that's it. It was delicious.
Yeah, but that was like it had to be within the last 3 weeks that I ate there.
Okay, well,
It was
listen.
within the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, so just make sure you wash your hands.
Well, I'm okay, y'all.
I say eat
not
your
a cough
food.
or a sneeze.
Not a nothing, huh?
Not a nothing.
Not a nothing. He is all right. But I just want you guys to be aware. Let your doctors know if you're feeling sick. Please just don't just let it go and think that, okay, just a flu-like symptom. You got a fever or anything like that. Just let us know. That's not talking about us. Look, you know I'm used to educating people, right? Let us know in the medical. Don't let us know. Let your doctor know. Look, I'm Shop Talking today. I'm acting like I'm at work. Please, please, please. I love you guys. You know that, and I want you to live a long time, and I don't want you to be over there sick and your immune system gets so low that you end up in ICU from this, from all of these diseases out here. Protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself. Universal precautions with Hep A. I'll be honest with you. You may know somebody who's walking around with hepatitis A. No biggie. I mean, I don't want to say no biggie to you, but if you experience any illnesses, you're fine. So don't freak out like it's Hep B or C. Yeah. Really, if it's Hep C.
There's actually treatment for that where you can take pills and recover.
Which one?
Well, I think from CMV.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They have treatments out there now.
But A, that's what I'm saying. Like, A isn't that. I mean, it's if you're going to have.
If you have a low immune system, if you're elderly, I'm really concerned. Some people don't have an immune system. You're diabetics, all of them. I need y'all to go get checked out, okay? Because we don't want it to attack you. But yes, there's vaccinations there's vaccinations for Hep A now too. But there's vaccinations for Hep B, so all is well. And Hep C, they got treatment. So we're doing it. We coming it up. Oh, did you? All right. Hey, Kim. All right, lovely people, that is our time. How about that? Today's footnote. Unity is strength. When there's teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. That's what Maddie Stepanek said, but I believe her 100%. Yes, yes, yes. Shall I say it again?
No. I just missed it.
Can you look like?
Because
You missed
I didn't
it?
hear it.
I can say it again.
Okay.
Unity is strength. When there is teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. As this conversation that we had today. All right, I love you guys for listening. You already know. Follow us on all social media outlets at Shop Talk with Mel. Visit the website, shoptalkwithmel.com. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people. Shop Talk right here, Spreaker.com.